Hello and welcome to the PQA Enfield Story Slam podcast, Blue Group Episode 1. Our stories today are told by our performers and are based on a challenge that they have faced in their lives. Have you ever confronted a fear that had been holding you back for a long time, or overcome a very awkward situation? Perhaps you've always been afraid of dogs, or felt nervous in a group of friends wondering what to say. Whatever it may be, you are not alone. Story slams happen all around the world and are an opportunity for people to have their voices heard. So make yourself comfortable and enjoy this collection of heartfelt stories that will surprise you, captivate you, and inspire you.
I once went to an audition for a pantomime and completely embarrassed myself. I was on my way to a theatre thinking there would barely be anyone there. But once I got there, it hit me. I saw at least 30 kids, but then I noticed my old dance teacher and her son. I went over to say hi, but then I realised there was this group of girls and their mums. They were so intimidating. I started to feel very nervous. When I got called into the studio, I realised that I was with the intimidating girls and my dance teacher's son. We were told to state our name and age, and then we proceeded to warm up. I could tell their mums were talking about me as they were whispering and staring at me. The choreographer showed us the dance, and we had 5 minutes to learn it and practice it off by heart. I then went up with 5 tall girls that were giving me dirty looks. It was all going well till one of the girls knocked into me and pushed me over. I started getting angry and stormed out. My mum followed me out to the pavement where we were about to cross the road when the choreographer's assistant came out telling me I was one of the best, which boosted my confidence. So I went back in and talked to my old dance teacher, and then I went back into the studio. I got down to the last 5 and I was eliminated due to me being overdramatic. I am now confident and can get up in front of people, knowing if I mess up, I can just carry on.
No, I won't. Not again, I shouted. And you can't make me. I will not walk over that old thing. What if I fall through and hurt myself really badly? Then what would you do? You see, when I was little, I hated going on woodland walks because it would only lead to one thing: wooden bridges. I hated them. What if I fell through? What if I hurt myself? What if I fell into the lake below and drowned? I didn't just hate them, I loathed them. And this time, I was not going to put up with it. I would not walk across the bridge, and that was final. But my mum would not stop trying. She would say things like, "They would not put them there if they weren't safe, Isabel, and the lake isn't that deep, and I'm right here with you." So I decided to give it a go. But I would not like it one bit. As I took my first step, my hands started sweating like mad. But I carried on, and in no time I was across. When I got across, I felt this tremendous feeling. I did it. I really did it. And it was not bad at all. I couldn't believe what I had just done. I realised it was more in my head. Anyway, a week later, I was on holiday, about to go on a roller coaster. And my hands started sweating again like mad. I questioned myself. What if? But I soon remembered it was more in my head, and I'll be fine.
My first day in quarantine was bad. I had nothing to do and I was so bored. I couldn't be with my friends because I was stuck at home and there was nothing good to watch on TV. There was nothing entertaining to do in the house. When my teacher said we won't be going to school for a long time, I thought I'll have the best time ever. I was wrong for sure. My teachers gave me extra work to do at home. That wasn't fair. My first day of quarantine was the worst day of my life.
Confidence is a challenge everyone needs to overcome. Mine happened last year. I remember just 2 days before the first day of secondary school, I was waiting at the bus stop with my dad. He was preparing me for travelling alone to school on the bus. I was absolutely terrified. I'd never travelled alone. I hadn't even walked to school by myself before. We went on the bus and drove 3 or 4 stops onwards. Then we walked back home. When the first day of school came, I didn't take the bus. I thought it was best to be driven in the car. So that's what happened. My mum drove me to school and I had a great first day. 2 weeks later, I heard about this travel buddy system. It was a website that told you who lived nearby to you and whether they travelled by train, car, or bus. I saw many names that took the train and many names who walked. I thought, who walks at this time of year? Anyway, there was one name that took the exact same bus as me, and I got excited and giddy. But then I realised I have no idea who or what this person looks like, and would they recognise me? The next day, I got on the bus. I looked for my travel buddy, but he was nowhere to be seen. I sat down at the front of the bus. My hands shook in fear. So many people gathered on. I hated it. I wasn't used to so many strangers coming and leaving, and random people sitting next to you. The fear of getting something stolen. It will be okay, I said. You'll be fine. The fear swirled round in my stomach like bus wheels. Then one day, my friend from school said, "Hey, how about we take the bus on Monday together?" I cried, "Oh yes, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, thank you so much." I felt happy and brave. Now, every Monday, Tuesday and Friday, I get the bus with a bunch of friends, feeling ready to go to school.
Lockdown had begun. It was as hot as summer, but I was stuck at home. And home learning was, well, interesting. I had never used Google Classroom since I never had to, but I needed to learn. I remember telling myself that I couldn't do it, and it was frustrating at first. Trust me, I'm not the best of listeners. It had been 6 whole months, and I had mastered home learning. But it was almost like it was never going to end. The good things did come from it, since I was ready for the second lockdown. But I don't know when all of this will end, but I'm certain it will.
I was scared at my first guitar lesson because I thought I might be bad, but I was even more scared because it was on Zoom, so I had to set it up. When the Zoom started, I got scared and I was frozen. I was so embarrassed that my dad had to come and help me learn how to hold the guitar. I learned how to hold the guitar, but the next struggle was playing on it. I was scared, and when I was doing it, it kind of hurt. But at first, I was fine, and now I can play the chords E, F, and G.
I hate spiders. I can't even touch one, and even the tiniest one. I run for my life until one day in year 4, I touched a tarantula and I said to my teacher, "No, miss, no, I hate spiders." And she said, "Just do it." And then my whole class started to say, "Do it, do it, do it." Then I started to get ready before I hold the tarantula. And then my class was still saying, "Do it, do it." And then I held the spider and I really enjoyed it. And my class was just like, how can she do it? Because they knew how scared I was of spiders. And then, now, since I'm not scared of spiders anymore, whenever there's a spider in my class, I just hold it and take it outside because I'm not scared anymore.
Hello everyone, today I'm going to tell you a story where I learnt to listen. As a kid, I would always talk and I'll get in trouble because I'd never really listened. So I guess I kind of learnt that. I was in year 3 and our trip was cancelled because of the bombing. So my school teacher decided that we would stay overnight and camp on the school field. I was so excited. We roasted marshmallows and played games all night. Me and my friends, luckily, all stayed in the same tent. We told each other spooky stories and stayed up all night. Back then, staying up at 3 a.m. was a very spooky thing to do, so that's exactly what my friends did. We continued telling stories and we ate snacks. Suddenly, we saw a big shadow outside of our tent. We were terrified, so terrified that we couldn't even speak. The big shadow started to wobble and shake the tent. We screamed. Slowly, the zip of our tent opened, and it turns out it was our teacher. "Now don't eat without our permission again," she said. We were so embarrassed, we woke up half of the class.
When I was younger, I was worried about a lot of things, like socializing, meeting people, going to school. But the only time I'd feel okay inside and feel like myself was playing sport. But I was still, and my friends told me this, that I was in my own corner, they like to say. And I was trotting behind everyone and I wasn't really participating much. My dad noticed this, of course, and he had, let's call it a nice hard talk. Let's just call it that. And then from then on, I just went to training and I said that I wanted to be the best I can be, and I can make my dad proud. So that's what I did. I worked hard and I was running in front of everyone. Then I thought that everyone was happy. That was the end. Full stop. Happy ever after. But I was very wrong, because 1 month later we were told we were playing a fixture. I felt like a bodybuilder had come and punched me in the stomach. It was such a hard experience, and nothing anyone could say could make me feel better. We trained harder than we'd ever trained before, and then the day of the match came and I really wanted to vomit. Before anything else could happen, my coach had blown the whistle for the start of the match, and suddenly all I could feel was a big bang, and it pushed me back. I stared up and there was this big bulky kid who had just thrown me to the ground. And I had this feeling I'd never had before, like I'm going to get him back for that. So I tackled him harder. And then the match finished before it even started. And like some miracle sent from the gods, we had won. It was the best feeling ever. It was so good. I was so concentrating on getting that boy to fall over on the mud that I didn't total up the score. I had no idea. It was something like someone just told me that, I don't know, completely no idea it was going to happen. And from that moment forward, I thought there's no point in being nervous. What does it do for you? So in most things nowadays, I like to be a big character, I suppose.
What a fantastic collection of stories, I'm sure you will agree. Thanks very much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed hearing these stories just as much as we have telling them. Join us again for part 2. Bye for now.